Hey guys, Mega Man NG here, and it's time once again for our Ace Attorney anime review. This week we're going to be talking about the third episode, Turnabout Sister's Second Trial. And in this episode, the trial of Maya Fey begins. Although things go as intended, it does lead to the second half of the plot, which centers on Mr. Wright investigating only for him to end up in more hot water. And when I mean hot water, I mean it's going to be leading up to the conclusion to tomorrow's episode. It isn't really much of a summary because if you follow the games, then you would probably know what happens. Not to mention, the anime does things a little differently than in the games. For starters, I did really enjoy this episode, as the trial wasn't as rushed as it was in the first episode, but it was a bit more streamlined, although some things really did put me off. Like, for example, the bellboy. In the game, the bellboy ends up in the courtroom to testify, whereas here, it doesn't happen. It just afterwards, April May gets arrested for wiretapping, and then the bellboy gets interviewed later on during his investigation. However, we do learn some interesting things about it, and it introduces us to a character who's a flat-out dirtbag, Red White, and he has the most accurate yet broken Engrish I've ever heard. I don't know why, but the guy screams corrupt just by how he looked and how he portrayed. Not to mention he was kind of an asshole. He really was. And you know that in the next episode he's going to get what's coming. But overall it was pretty good, but there were some other things I missed out on. Like, for example, in the game you get to interview April May, which didn't happen. She ends up in jail immediately afterwards without any reason whatsoever. And I already mentioned about the bellboy, though April May's breakdown and her arrival was either hilarious or in some cases cute, because April May is kind of a perv. I don't know why, but how she portrays is so innocent on one side, then she flips a whole 80 and acts like a complete, yeah, you get it, right? So, the episode was pretty good. I didn't enjoy it, though the trial, I wish they did a bit more with the trial, but in a 22-minute episode, what can you do? Although we do get to see how Edgeworth works in action. I had the exact same thought of mine when Phoenix was in the courtroom, and I was saying to myself, Miles Edgeworth, I'd rather not show weakness or else he'll be on me in an instant. That was my whole thought about Edgeworth. He was confident. He was like a douchebag, a guy who would do anything to get a guilty verdict, and it's proof of that. Although here in this case, we do see him stumble up like how he looked in the actual games. In the anime, how it looked was just very good. I really liked it. And it made me chuckle a bit. And knowing tomorrow we're going to be seeing him again in court, it's going to be something, alright. Although, I did like it, and I also like the music that they added for it, because the music is now being used more often that's faithful to the Ace Attorney games. I liked it, and it helps add this courtroom tension. Not to mention the objections come flying all over the place. Like one part where Dick Gumshoe was about to testify, and the objection comes out of nowhere. It felt like he got slapped. That was funny. And then an objection comes right back, followed by another one. I like how they incorporated it in the trial segments. It's just that good. I really liked it a lot. I don't have much else to say other than the episode was good, and it also bridges up on stuff relating to DL6. If you play the Ace Attorney games, then you know that this case serves as like a starting point to DL6, because in one scene, Phoenix Wright was talking about Marvin Grossberg on how he was guilty of a crime himself, and it related to the man named Red White. So, yeah, it's a starting point to DL6, and I know that when we reach Turnabout Goodbyes, it's going to get really nuts, and I'm actually surprised how it's going to play out in anime form. Who knows? It was adapted into the movie, but let's see how the anime pulls it off. Although there was some other things I liked, like when during the witness testimonies, you actually see the events happening and you see like testimony up and down. It helps add a bit more atmosphere and gives you a good idea of what their testimony is like. But Phoenix was able to find those flaws easily, and you can tell it didn't end well for April May. No way. Same can be said for probably Dick Gumshoe. So yeah, I really did enjoy this episode. It was, well, somewhat okay compared to last week, because last week was more character-driven. This one was all go, go, go. Going straight for the trial and then the investigation. And next week's episode is going to be all trial because, yeah, Phoenix Wright's in deep trouble now. Very deep trouble. I only hope that he'll make it out of it okay. So yeah, that's it for this anime review of the Ace Attorney anime, episode review, sorry. And if you enjoy this video, please be sure to hit the like button. It really does mean a lot to me. After craziness that I had with my channel being terminated on Monday and everything, my channel's thrown for a loop. And I am going to be continuing with these anime reviews of the Ace Attorney series, along with my other episode reviews that I will be covering in the days to come, like TMNT and The Flash. Fortunately, with at least the Ace Attorney anime, I can always provide my thoughts on it. So yeah, next week is Turnabout Sisters' last trial. I hope you stick around for when I provide my thoughts on it, and if you want to see the episode for yourself, I'll be posting it either in the description or in the comments, so you'll find it there. Alright, thanks for watching. See you next time. This is Mega Man NG, signing off. Peace.